Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video. We are continuing today the little mini series on retro games where I attempt to recreate Cannon Fodder from 1993, which was originally released on the Amiga. So can't be that difficult to recreate, only with a twist. We are doing this with AI, Claude Code. In fact, we are doing this with a piece of software that I created called Foreman, where it kind of literally just wraps your AI coding agents or your current AI coding agents in a sort of organizational terminal UI where we can set multiple agents on different jobs or even the same job to definitely get the best outcome that we possibly can. So this is now available for Windows. It is paid. It is £29.99 Great British pounds if you want to buy this. We will be showcasing it today, and we did in the last episode, and we will be today in this episode as well. So here's the game just for a quick refresh and a reminder. In 1993, Sensible Software. So if you remember Sensible Soccer, it was released by the same developers, and Virgin, believe it or not, back in the day, publishing games and stuff like that. So yeah, this is what we're going to try and recreate. We're using the free Godot gaming engine. So we can just have a quick look at the code and do a quick refresh. So we got a couple of variables declared. Oh, please don't walk in front. We've got a little cat just jumped on the desk. So yeah, apologies. We have a couple of variables: speed, arrive distance. We've got some more for targeting and one for dead. Some functions. So a ready function, unhandled input that I presume is for like dead clicks for when we're shooting and when we're moving and things like that. Physics session, so process for our physics, so for when we move and when we shoot and when we die, things like that. So there's the shoot, there's the die block. So it's very basic for now. Torso animation for when we're walking, so it looks like he's actually moving. So we did make some progress. We added some textures into Godot. I always forget what it's called. And we got the guy actually moving and shooting. So let's just get to that so I can show you just where we're up to. I always get the warning with, is that the right executionable? Yes. So, I mean, we can actually play it from here. And let me show you. So I do need to, obviously I've run out of level over here. So this is the texture I'm talking about. This is our little sprite guy. And at the minute it's kind of acting exactly like Cannon Fodder. We click to move, he moves there. We can turn, he always keeps his eye on the cursor. It does shoot, but the animation needs work. So that's going to be today's job, which will be perfecting this walk, making sure that the animation actually works for him shooting and actually bullets come out of his gun. And then what I would like to do is add another soldier, because in Cannon Fodder you have groups of 2 or 3, I believe. But I'd like to maybe add a third soldier further on, or like level 2, or maybe every level you gain a soldier, something like that. But I would like to add the conga line effect that Cannon Fodder does have. So that's today's targets, making his shoot animation a bit better and actually shoot bullets. Adding another soldier, and then I think we might wrap up with possible add one enemy and see where we can go from there. But yeah, so full on action packed, half an hour today, whatever it takes. So we are going to be using Claude Code for this, and we do have which I believe I can show you. I'm just using free and available credits that you get with your Claude Code account. So obviously we can see I've already used 29% today. So we've got another 71% that we can use to hopefully get this achieved. So without further ado, let's see if we can do this, get a lot more progress done, and yeah, get a conga line, an actual gun shooting bullets, and a possible enemy. So let's see where we get to. Okay, so back in Foreman, this is the software that I am advertising and that I'm going to use to do this. This is just using multiple coding agents from Anthropic, Grok, Gemini, Olama, and all sorts of different agents that I can add, but currently we're just trying Claude Code to do this. So I have a directory here for disposable assets. We can add a new task. Let's just keep this with Sonic 5 because I'm pretty sure it can handle it. So we would like to say we currently have a soldier and walking and shooting animations. Can you help me edit the firing animation? Whoops, don't know what that's come from, sorry. Can you help me edit the firing animation so it looks better and add actual firing bullets? Okay, so again, not much context at all, very plain, very brief. Let's just see if it gets this. So we have in Foreman a nice pretty terminal output. You can actually have a look at what's going on in the background. We do get approvals, as you can see, so it'll try not to act in the most vulnerable places where it thinks it needs permissions. It will ask. It'll never write or read or bash without asking approval first, which is very nice. So yeah, we can see it's scanning everything now, scanning the project directory, and let's just see if we get anything back from this. What does it want now? Oh yeah, you can have a look at the rifle if you want. So sometimes it'll error if it can't get the permissions, so we'll just see what it does from here. Okay, so it's getting the MPEGs, it's having a look at the assets, having a look at sprites. Yeah, we're going to get an interruption from a little friend. Oh, there we go, little tail. And she's down. Okay. So. Yep, so it's still trying to have a look at the project. Let's just see. I don't believe we've wrote any new code yet. So it's listing and having a look at what's in files here. Listing folders. Having a look what's in there. Let's keep our eye on that. So 2%. Looking like we're going to be okay, I think. We'll potentially get this done with 71% credits. I also have a target of making this project free. So I've currently spent $1.37 on some sprites and some guns and things like that. So that's how much it's cost me so far. And I don't want the AI usage to end up costing me more than I'm paying a month, which Claude Code in the UK for me is 18 British pounds a month. So yeah, I'm literally doing that just off my monthly subscription. I'm not paying any more tokens or anything like that. And being a professional developer by trade, I am just curious to see if I can sort of do this without writing any code, which I know is against all sort of good observations of a developer. But it is just to see a coding language that I've never touched before, never looked at. Obviously, I can understand bits of it by being a JavaScript developer, but yeah, it's just something I've never looked at. See if it can do it from start to finish just by written instruction from me. I feel like that's quite interesting to find out, because whether any of us like it or not, this is where we are going in the future. It's not going away. So yeah, let's try and utilize it the best we can. Let's catch up with this. Where are we up to? So it's thinking about something. So let's view the upscaled frames to actually see the animation clearly. Okay, so it's trying to play it in its own little sandbox. Let's keep up to date with our tokens. 33%, so it's used 5 so far, which isn't too bad, I suppose. So it's finding the assets. It still hasn't, oh, it's wrote 1 file yet, wrote 2 files. Image view, upscale, and it has either written or created .temp upscale.js. So it's having a good think. Tokens, 33 still, not too bad. Okay, so now it wants to pull in a PNG. So now we must be able to see it creating files. Yeah, looks like it's done a couple of these. Temp out, oh yeah. Very cool. Oh, very cool. Temp node. Yeah, okay, so it's created some animation files out of PNGs, which is good. Again, I mean, not only learning the engine, but kind of learning all of that as well, being able to manipulate PNGs, things like that. It is doing a full development studio's job in one, which at the end of this series, like all the games that we recreate, we're going to try and go into some background of Cannon Fodder and how it was made, see if we can find any information, any old footage. It did come from 1993, so I can't see there being much footage out there, but we'll look for that anyway. I'm also trying to consider what the next game would be, so if you have any ideas, please leave your ideas in the comments. I'm thinking of making another really old Amiga game called Pushover. Believe it or not, it was sponsored by Quavers back in 1993, and it was like a domino puzzle game, Pushover, where you played a little ant, and he had to manipulate a domino puzzle and put the right dominoes in the right place, go up to the top, push them over, and hopefully they get to the end and unlock the door. So I'm hoping I can maybe make that. If I don't get any better suggestions, that will definitely be the next game we make in this series. So let's see where we're up to. Want some more permissions? Let's have a look at our tokens. 37. Used a chunk. So we started on 29, don't forget, so it's used 8% of my usage, which, if you look, this does reset in an hour and 39 minutes, so it's not too bad. Even if we do get there, it's not a long wait to be able to continue to code again. Sorry about that. So it's really thinking about this one. So now it's editing something. Top Gun Bullet.js. Let's have a look what it's created there. Just accept this. Bullet tracer. Oh wow. Okay. Whatever that is. Suppose we'll find out when it's done. I don't want it to go too overboard. You know, I just want it to try and replicate 1993 bullets, which were single pixels flying across the screen, really. So yeah, hopefully it can recreate that at least. And I don't want it to be any more flashier than that, or else that defeats the object of the game, really. It's more than capable of creating this game. And I mean, we're using Sonnet, we're not even using, say, Fable, which I think would probably have the game made by now. Yeah, this is definitely having a good thing. Token update, 38. I'm happy. It's creeping along. It's still trying to bash things and read things after creating and writing. So let's see what it does with this. This is taking a while. Sonnet is a deep thinker, but I've definitely had it do more complex tasks than this, and it take a lot quicker. Token check. Still 38. So Foreman is available if you do want to try this yourself. And if you do, please do leave me some feedback. There should be, there isn't. Contact emails. There isn't one here at the minute. My website isn't here either. But what I will do is get some sort of correspondence email put on here so any feedback can be left. But the YouTube video comments are a good place for feedback as well. So token update 41, so it's definitely doing something now. Now let's implement the changes. First, the new bullet and muzzle flash screenshots at scenes script. Maybe we can see it doing this one. Muzzle flash. One shot muzzle flash plays through its frames once, then frees itself. Nice. Function. Ready. Void animation finish.connect. Q free. So that's where it's freeing itself. And then we play the animation. Plus flash. So we've got a bullet script as well. So we're declaring some speeds, the arena where we are, a traveled variable, hit recognition, I think. And then this is obviously the bullet moving, and then what happens when we do hit something. So it's cracking on. Let's review the full update files to sanity check. Let's verify the tracer assets and clean up my temporary tooling files. Very scary. Very, very scary. I do envision Foreman being a community piece of software. I know that it's behind a paywall, but I am trying to currently run a business. So this software is part of my creation school, you could say. So I would really like for it to be community driven. We can add multiple different plugin type applications. I've created 3 of them myself, a thumbnail maker for YouTube, an image compressor for when you're uploading images to YouTube and other places, other sources, and then an OBS overlay creator, and all of them work absolutely fantastic, powered by the AI agents, of course, but all of them work absolutely fantastic. So I'm hoping we can get community-driven plugins. So, you know, you guys come on board. Hopefully I can give a couple of keys away, so some developers don't have to pay and they can test it for me. If they'd like to come on board, that would be brilliant. See where we go from there. So I think it's wrapping up now. Everything works correctly. Bullets spawn, travel, and clean themselves up. The fire ratio cooldown properly blocks the 2 rapid third shot. No errors. Let's remove the last scaffolding. Okay. Token check. 44. Sonnet is really, really sufficient for things like that. I think we would only have a sort of backup to Fable if we got stuck. Okay, so let's have a look. So since asking it literally one prompt, we have got, so it's upscaled some frames, it's added the bullet animation and the muzzle flash, it's created a cooldown and cleaned up bullets so they don't just end up flying around the level forever. And then it's sanity checked all its changes, cleaned up all its temporary files, stopped all its running processes and confirmed everything. So here's what it's given us. Firing animation. The shoot animation employer reused all 9 rifle frames in the original order, which had a real bug. The muzzle flash tinted frame played last after the recoil had already settled, so the flash appeared after the gun had stopped kicking. Okay, so actual bullets, muzzle flash, and how it's wired it up for us. So let's just take one last look at the code. So it's given us 2 new scripts, 2 new scenes. Let's have a look at it. Edit the project to trigger the initial import. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I hope you can see this. That is... Holy shit. It has definitely... It has definitely fixed that bullet flash. I mean, we didn't even have a bullet flash. So it's... Let me just get this right. So it's actually saying that it found a bug in the first, because it stopped kicking backwards. However, a shot actually reads. It also held 4 visually identical settled frames back to back, which just wasted time, and made it feel static. Okay, so the original here messed that up. So this guy, he's fixed that. He's reworked it so it flashes. So now we got a flash, a kick, and a recoil, and then return to the idle position. A flash, yeah, a kick, a bullet, and a return. Sorry, I'll just have to remove this hard drive as it is giving me some shizer, I think. Excuse me. Okay. So it feels so smooth. Obviously you've got to move and shoot with your click with your left to move and then shoot with your right. But oh my god, I am totally happy with that progress so far. So we did achieve the muzzle flash. We did clean that up. We added bullets, which kind of look like lasers, but I suppose we can get round to that. Maybe just make those a bit smaller, I think. It seems to be a bit large, but let's see what we get when we get some enemies anyway. And I also think we need to zoom out and repeat the background so we don't end up... Can we do that here? Can we walk right to the other end? Yes, we can. So we need to do that. So good start. Good start. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. So we achieved the muzzle edits. We got the bullets firing, and nothing's broken. No errors. So next, it's going to be adding a new player, so we can have like a conga line type process animation like the original Cannon Fodder 1993. So let's get that done right now. Okay, so back into Foreman and the conga line. Sod it, let's do 3 soldiers. So I want 3 soldiers in a conga line, all shooting at the same target. So let's see what it can do about that. I have multiple soldier sprites, like in the original game. I would like 3 soldiers in the conga line, as in the original game. Who will all shoot at the same time at the same target. So again, very minimal, 1 line prompt. Let's see what it can do with this, because I mean it got the firing prompt in 1. Sorry, the firing animation changes and bullets in 1. So why can't it do this? Let's just see what it's going to come up with. It's having a good think. Might be a little small, that text. Can I zoom in? I can't, unfortunately. But it's having a good one. Sometimes I have seen a small bug with Foreman where the conversation seems to get caught and it's trying to ask me permissions in the background, but it's not showed the permissions box. So usually it doesn't say it when it's thinking, but let's just give it a couple more minutes. Token check. 45. We're doing okay. We're doing okay for now. It's doing a lot of thinking. Come on. We may have to interrupt this one. Come on. See, I've programmed it in so we can't interrupt it. Okay, there it goes. I found that it was getting stuck because it was trying to run 3 or 4 processes. In the meantime, I was interrupting, asking multiple questions. I know you can do that with Claude Code in the terminal, but I did want this pretty view that we're seeing here to be able to be controlled by all agents, not just Claude. So I had to code something in that kind of worked for them all. But this does seem to work. I'm really impressed with Grok build. I think the next game will definitely utilize Grok build to build that, and just see what Fable does for us, because I think I'm going to utilize Fable potentially to put some menu in, like a map and some screen icons, like, you know, how many players are alive, how many enemies are still alive, things like that. The original game had a very simple UI, so we can see if we can create that again. But let's see. So okay, so it's rewriting the player script and the player scene. So it's rewrote the player soldier TypeScript TSCM file. So yeah, update the main to use the squad instead of the lone player. The camera following the leader. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So it's going to run it headlessly and do its own test, which is very good. Let's see how it comes up with. In the meantime, if you do like this kind of content and you are interested in seeing how this plays out and more games, please do subscribe, or consider subscribing, and leave us some feedback in the comments, especially what kind of game you'd like to see next, what kind of agent you'd like me to use, if there's anything about Foreman that you have questions about, which is this software that we're using here that I've created, which will be available in the links down below. So we'll hopefully get some progress out of this and make this an interesting series for you to watch. But progress, token check, 51, very good. So it's cleaning up. Verify the Conga line forms and all 3 soldiers fire simultaneously, which is what we've asked for. Here is our prompt. Just thinking about it. It isn't getting stuck, which might be me dreaming of bugs, but let's see. Then we'll test this out, see what it looks like, and plan the final part of this episode, which will be a firing enemy, if possible. I mean, I'm super impressed so far with Claude Code. I remember when I first started developing, and I would just continuously make HTML page after HTML page, and can I make a website? I'll make it out of HTML, and it used to take me absolute weeks just to get a couple of images on the clickable input, maybe an email link, and things like this. And I'm talking 10 years ago, so technology was a little bit different, but it still existed. And it took me absolute ages, and this is literally writing, a game that was made in 1993, but it's literally writing it in minutes. It's self-checking, it's self-testing, it's sanity checking, it's cleaning up after itself. And it's literally taking text prompts to do this. So whether us developers agree, disagree, or agree to disagree on AI, it is coming. The bubble isn't popping, not yet. So I just feel like creating something like Foreman is just to assure that I'm along for the ride, to be honest. And then obviously to get some nice experiments out like this, hopefully share them with YouTube and show the community just what you can actually do with a little bit of coding knowledge. Not none. I don't agree that you can't have any coding knowledge, but with a tiny bit, maybe you can. Okay, so I'm not even going to read this. I'm going to leave this for the wrap up of this episode, so we can just go through what we've done. But let's just get straight to. I keep closing Godot, don't I? It's spell that correctly first. Type like a bloody elephant. Okay, so let's give that. Project needs to be imported. Let's import it. Okay, let's give this a go. Oh my god, we have a Conga line. Oh my goodness, look at, and oh wow, look at how they all, holy fuck. That is so good, pardon my French, I am so sorry for swearing, but I'm just really impressed with it. Because my aim would be, the first level you do with 1 soldier, the second level you do with 2 soldiers, the third level you do with 3, or something inside of a level what helps us evolve the amount of soldiers that we have, improve, evolve, whatever we want. But I'm really chuffed on how they don't mind switching positions. If you look, like sometimes the middle one will go to the back one will go to yeah, that is really cool. They just they just fall in line. They just fall in line like little coding agents. But no, that's absolutely so exciting. That's so exciting. So let us get back to getting this enemy created, and then we can possibly call this episode a day. I'm really impressed because the next thing is going to be terrain and buildings. So after that, I mean, we've got a functioning game. Then we're just sort of adding in logic and UI features where we want and things like that. Nice to have. So pretty sure after we've got the buildings and the terrain, we'll have our MVP. So let's get straight to that enemy right now. Okay, so back into Foreman. No, we're not. We are now. Back into Foreman, and that all works great, thanks. Could we now add multiple enemies who fire and die when shot? Could you also add the die animation to the soldiers when shot? So again, very brief, not much context, just exactly what it needs to do. See if it can do this. So we will be giving away multiple keys to Foreman in an upcoming episode. So I think the way we would do this is if someone can suggest a game in the comments that is better than Pushover, which is my suggestion for the next game, I think that person or that user would definitely get a key. And I think also maybe the 10th subscriber to the channel I'll give a key to. So yeah, if you think you're interested and that might be you, yeah, just let me know in the comments. And if I feel, or if the community feels like it beats Pushover and it's something they want to see, you get that key. So if you think you want to try Foreman, you want to build stuff, experiment with AI, obviously you've got to have your own AI agent keys to add into Foreman so they work. But after that, yeah, you're a way to go. So if you think you're interested in Foreman and would like to give it a go, please leave us a comment with what game you think we should create next. Hopefully, or respectively from the 1990s era, and then we'll go to the 2000s, 2010, and we'll just keep going like that to see if we can create games going forward, keep this series running. But I am also going to do other multiple formatted series where I'm creating pieces of software as well. So I do want to create a smart home application, or just something that I can always run on my Mac that I never turn off. So yeah, hopefully I can connect my phone to things like that, just run a server, connect my phone to it, and pull in everything that Google Home and Apple Home, I forgot what it's called, just won't let you run simultaneously together. So that's one idea. And again, if you think you've got an idea of a piece of software you think Foreman might not be able to create, let me know in the comments and we'll put it to the test. So yeah, it is really thinking about this one. Okay, so token check. 57. We're definitely not going to run out before we get these enemies on the screen. So we should be fine with that. So one area of Foreman I would like to improve is the marketplace in settings. We do have the 3 applications that I made and then multiple kind of what we call Apple shortcuts, but for AI coding agents. So I run one of them the other day, which was to literally see if it could optimize the storage on my machine. And it literally freed up 64 gig that I knew nothing about. It obviously lists all the folders, tells you where they are, what they're doing before you delete anything. But I was astounded by just how much crap that was stored on this machine that wasn't doing anything, wasn't important. I didn't need it. I deleted it and it hadn't gone. So yeah, it isn't. It has its use cases in multiple areas. Foreman. It can be very scary at times. So I would advise installing it if you have a little bit of knowledge about your own machine. If not, maybe you should steer away. You do need, because you need to be able to understand what's going on. You need to be able to allow it, and obviously you can see me just approving approves. But I've been testing Foreman, running Foreman now for months, so I'm quite used to the questions it's asking me and the authorization level of those questions. So yeah, you could do with a little bit of that knowledge, but if you've got that, then Foreman's definitely for you. So it hasn't wrote anything yet. It's wrote one file. So, oh, is it adding blood? So, and this is what I love about it too. So it's figured out something that it wants, and it's literally batch applying it to every soldier instead of just testing it with one. It's so confident in what it's doing. It's like, yeah, I'll just add it to them all. Why not? So we are only allowing it here to jump into different parts of CDs, obviously change directory. So it's just jumping into different parts of the repository or the folder structure. But it obviously needs to edit and update those files. Token check and then a quick code check. 62%, I'm happy with that. Let's see what it's doing now. So we've got a squad scene, which is added in the previous ones. Oh no, we've got enemies dying. Very pixelated, apologies. Okay, so I'm happy with that progress. So now it's updating the squad to only always face the cursor behavior that used to live in the base class. Now moved out since enemies shouldn't inherit it. Very clever. Now update the bullet to actually deal a hit, call die, and fix its own collision layer so it doesn't clash with the new faction layers. Nice. Now the enemy script, AI sentry that scans for and fires at the nearest living. Yes, that's what it did in Cannon Fodder, if you remember. When you come out from, there's like an enemy behind a building and he's just randomly moving, and as soon as you come into view, he's like, oh, he comes out and starts, come on, let's shoot you. So, yeah, I'm glad that it's adding in that behavior. I didn't even ask for that, but obviously I've asked for enemies, so enemies will do. I think if it does achieve this, and we've obviously got enough limit left, we'll just get it to expand the terrain so we can't run out at least while we're testing. Maybe. Suppose that's not important until we start fixing buildings and things like that. And I also want it to scan out a touch, because the Cannon Fodder, if you remember, they went on to use the players in Sensible Soccer, and they were really tiny little sprites, and it was really zoomed out. So I kind of want that. I want a lot visible in the level. I don't want it to just be a building that comes into view. I want the building to be in view from quite a far perspective away, or quite a far perspective. English. So, okay. Now it's doing a full functional test covering enemy AI, bullet versus faction targeting, and death triggering on both sides. Oh my goodness. Imagine the developer comes up to you, you're I don't know, a lead of a gaming company, a gaming development company, and says, I've fixed it, I've got everything to move, I've done this. Yeah, but have you tested it? And this is the test process. Seconds. But for us developers, that test process is the same amount of time as it takes to write the code. So I'm currently writing a test suite for my 9 to 5 where I currently work, and it's brilliant because the tests have actually uncovered problems with the physical code, which we wouldn't have known about if we wouldn't have wrote tests for that suite. So yeah, it's a massive learning curve. It's something that I believe all developers should have the ability to do. And obviously this has been written into AI that tests your own work, prove that your own work can be tested and things like that. So I think maybe from going on in future, a good thing or a good code of practice would be to ask the AI to write the test suite as well alongside the code, because obviously that's not going to take it an extra week like it would us mere human developers. So yeah, it's a very quick process for that, but it's definitely thinking about this one. Let's try a token check. My computer sounds like it's going to take off. So 66, so it's eaten a few now. This is taking it a little bit more than the last few tasks, but it doesn't matter because this should be the last task for this video. I think we've achieved quite a bit. We just had a walk-in sprite when we started. Now we've got 3 that all follow each other in unison. They turn, they act all in unison, they fire in unison, and they all fire at the same target. Now we're just getting an enemy added that can die on interaction from being shot by us, and we can die on interaction from being shot by that. So I think that is a few months of development, in my opinion, in 1993 using Windows DOS. Microsoft DOS. Sorry, that was very, very wrong. Apologies, DOS lovers. But doing a lot of thinking, and I believe it's about to wrap it up. So it's tested everything now. Functionality, it's tested the AI behavior. Yeah, so it can't find a variable that it created. The value doesn't have a set type because it's TypeScript, I believe. JavaScript would just say, okay, use it, and I'll just make something up. It will coerce whatever it wants. Come on. Token check. 68%. Doing some more writing. My computer is again about to take off by the sounds of the fans. I do just want to caveat that with my machine is quite old. It isn't modern. It's almost the size of this room. It's a very large desktop computer, quite old. I honestly wanted to see if Foreman would run as well on this machine, which it does flawlessly. You might be able to hear some fan noise, but apart from that, yeah, it runs flawlessly on the MacBook Air M4, which I've got at the side of me running it now. It doesn't feel hot at all, and it's monitoring my recording sessions. So I've got a Cloud Code agent running on my MacBook Air, monitoring my OBS session running on my Windows computer, and it's feeding me back information on bitrate. But sorry, not bitrate. Just optimization for recording, and when I finish, it'll give me a summary to see if there's any settings that I need to update in OBS. So it does have an online streaming version, but I haven't used that yet. I've not streamed to YouTube or done a live video yet. So once I do that, I'll run that software, and hopefully it can give me live in-time feedback of my settings, where I'm getting frame drops and things like that. And I am going to showcase that piece of software as well, but I'm still fine-tuning that. So, okay. So once again, enemies, done. Actual hit detection, done. Death animation, done. One necessary refactor, verified. Enemy AI detects and fires at the squad. Come on, let's just... What? Stop with this now. I've had this problem just before I tried to start the stream, and I think I just need to restart this. Every single time I've done that. If it can't find these assets, I don't know where and when they can get lost. Oh, there's an enemy. Oh, shoot it. Oh, shit. Okay, well, I didn't write reset logic in there, did I? God's sake, I wasn't prepared for that. Okay, let's try that again. You son of a bitch. Die. Die. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry, but I was this excited with the 1993 version when I was playing it. Oh, my goodness. So I managed to win second time around. I've lost two men, two brothers. He's dying in the uniform, dying in the soul. Okay, so I don't want to be able to walk through enemies like that either. But come on, let's have one more go at that while we're at it. He's dead. He's dead. No. No. He's dead. No. This is going to be one tough game. But okay, so yeah, I am mega happy with that. I don't think Foreman could have done much better. So let's see where we started today. So we started here right at the top with this prompt, which was literally, can you add shooting animations? So it went, processed everything, told me what it was doing, gave me a wrap up of everything. We checked it, it worked. So then we said, right, okay, then we want a conga line. We want 3 soldiers that all shoot at the same target and they stay in line, stay in order. And it did that. It took a while. It had a good think about it, but then it spat out another summary, everything that it's done. So we were completely happy with that. Again, first time it was brilliant. So then our last prompt, which was, well, add some enemies, and when they shoot us, we'll die, and when we shoot them, they'll die. So again, it went away. This is Foreman, the software that I've created, which will be available in the link below if you'd like to give it a try. So it went away, told us what it was doing. Once again, gave us a summary of everything done. And here is the final product. We have, please forgive this terrain over here. I've not finished setting that up. But we could shoot this guy now. And shoot this guy. Shoot this guy. Yeah, baby. Yeah. That's all 4 of them. So I like how it put more enemies than I have players. So we survived another one, but no. So maybe some revive. I don't know. That would be maybe for another episode, but the next episode will definitely have to be terrains and buildings and boxes and water and things like that, because you could fall in the water and die on Cannon Fodder and for 1993. So want to get that added. But I think let's get things wrapped up. Let's do a recap and then on to the next episode. Okay, so quick wrap up and a recap. Where did we get up to? What did we do? We have used Foreman, the software that I've created that is available down in the description if you want to give this a try. We literally started out using Claude Sonnet 5 and we've literally asked it, can you create us a shooting animation with bullets? So it went away. It did that. This is the first prompt for the bullets. So it went away, performed that action for us, gave us a summary. We checked it, tested it, worked fine, straight out of the box, no errors, no issues, exactly what we asked for. Then we wanted a classic sort of conga line like Cannon Fodder has in 1993, where you can have multiple soldiers and they all shoot at the same target. So we asked for that, it did it, it just went away. It asked a couple of approvals along the way, but once again we got a full summary of what it did in the Godot engine that we have running. So this is Sonnet 5 directly editing the files in that folder, which then we've got open in Godot so we can see the changes instantly. So we had the conga line, 3 soldiers all following each other, all firing at the same target. Then we asked for enemies which died when they were shot and could kill us when they shot us. So once again, it went away, it did that. It came back, give us a summary of everything that it had performed, and this is where we're up to. So that looks a little bit like this, but please forgive me, the enemies have died. If you just rewind a little bit, you've seen where I've tried to play this game multiple times. But if you see, here's my team, they managed to kill them, but this is where we got up to. So apart from zooming out a little bit and adding some terrain and buildings now, we're not far off a functioning game. Yeah, okay, it's not shippable, but that is for me an MVP complete, which would be players, action, terrain, and environment. So 3 or 4 items what we had on our MVP ticked off. So then it would be more of a cleaning up job, adding in menu systems and interactivity, so we can see live stats on the screen of soldiers dying and enemies still existing, things like that. So that would definitely be the next episode. But for now, this will wrap up this episode. So I really appreciate it if you stayed along and you've been following along with this. I've had some very nice feedback in the comments on the previous video, so thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. So yeah, that is Cannon Fodder moved along a few more steps, or disposable assets we're calling it, moved along a few more steps, and now we're going to add some terrain and some environmental assets next episode. So please do join me with that when that happens. If you did join me, thank you so much. If this kind of thing interests you, please consider subscribing. It would really help me out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.